Hello guys, this is Alan Fun and welcome to the Fry Fun Show. It's a show that I talk about news and other stuff. We're going to begin today with Mitt Rommey and Donald Trump's nightmare, along with their opinion on Obama. According to an article from several sources, including the Washington Post, late last week, Mitt Romney's campaign unveiled its latest fundraising game, donating only $3, and you can have a dinner with Donald Trump and Mitt Romney. Where Mitt Romney said that you can donate today and you are eligible for a chance to win airport transportation in a Trump vehicle, a stay at the Trump International Hotel and Tower in New York City, a chance to tour the Celebrity Apprentice boardroom, which is on NBC, and an opportunity to dine with Donald Trump and Mitt Romney. That's the message that was posted on Romney's campaign website. But wait, there's more. Rommey also joined Trump in a fundraiser on Tuesday, May 29th, where after the fundraiser, Donald Trump committed to Rommey. Obama was born in Kenya and was raised in Indonesia and Hawaii, USA. According to a quote in a Christian Science Monitor article from Trump's Twitter feed, he says, "Why does the press protect him? Is this another Watergate scandal?" The agency said the bio of Obama was not real and was based on Obama said to Mitt Romney and Donald Trump as Obama is native-born. However, Trump said the press might be protecting Obama in a similar way to the Watergate allegations Nixon has faced. Romney was nominated the Republican Party nomination for president on Tuesday night, May 29th. Additionally, on Thursday, Mitt Romney gave Obama an F for his first term and has no questions about giving him this grade for his work as a president from 2009, which is his year of inauguration, to 2013, the president doesn't get reelected. Romney said that if you look at his foreign policy along with the decisions Obama makes, he was attempting to bring the troops home with the issues in the Middle East, but apparently Romney thinks Obama is keeping them in Iraq, which results in a failure to Obama. Additionally, Romney considered Obama's economic policy to be a failure, despite the unemployment rate dropping to 8.2% and an additional 69,000 jobs added in last May. So what this is saying to me is that Romney and Trump combined are trying to make several attempts to stop Obama from being reelected as a president, and it depends on who you think is going to win the presidential elections. For me, I think it's Rommey because Obama has barely done anything to save the country. Besides, I have no idea. He has not done anything. The Washington is like pretty darn lazy. They haven't done anything to save anything, including the economy, the housing problems, and healthcare, education reforms, more than that. It's worse when Obama is reelected as a president, as the troubles will eventually continue until 2017, which sucks, doesn't it? Our next story of this show is all about Sprint's conflict with its partner Nextel. According to an article from the Wall Street Journal, Sprint Nextel Corp plans to shut down its push-to-talk network as soon as June of next year as part of an ongoing network upgrade, a move that will remove the remaining parts of Nextel from its operations. Sprint spent $35 billion to buy Nextel in 2005, a purchase that has been proven disastrous. The combined company struggled in a hotly competitive wireless market under the weight of maintaining multiple wireless technologies. Sprint dismissed much of the deal in a $29.7 billion goodwill write-down and hasn't posted a full-year profit since 2006. Previously, Sprint has said it would support the network known as IDEM into 2013. Ending its service enables the company to use the airwaves for more advanced services such as high-speed mobile broadband network known as 4G LTE. Stephen Nicholas analyst Christopher King, who expected the IDN network to be shuttered by the end of 2013, said that the main thing is to free up the spectrum. The move came after last week's ruling from the Federal Communications Commission allowing the Overland CAN telecom company to use the spectrum for 4G. The shutdown will allow Sprint to simplify its complex network structure that resulted from its merger from Nextel. The company has said that the fixed cost of operating the Nextel network was about $350 million in the first quarter ending March 31st, although additional costs are involved in providing the service, such as subsidizing handsets. About 5.4 million customers use the IDN network as of end of September, according to the Sprint spokesman. Of those users, 3.8 million are postpaid users, with the remainder being prepaid. The IDN network, classified as 2G, used handsets that provide the iconic Nextel chirp sound that was central to Nextel's service when the two companies merged. Customers will have to switch to new handsets as the network is shut down, also as new devices will provide the same functionality with new features, and the chirp sound is also being preserved. The IDN users are mostly business and government customers who will get written notices about the shutdown beginning this week. Sprint will provide favorable offers for new handsets to encourage a transition to its Direct Connect push-to-talk service operating on Sprint's 3G CDMA network. Sprint said the Direct Connect service offers pricing to their IDEN service. The company doesn't disclose subscriber figures for that network. Stifel Keynes said Sprint faces some risk of losing customers as they force to switch handsets, but few other options are available, at least. Separately, on Tuesday, Sprint disclosed a new $1 billion credit facility with Deutsche Bank, AG, DB, and other lenders to fund equipment purchases from Ericsson that are related to building its LTE network. The company plans to redeem $1 billion in Nextel communication notes that comes due in the first quarter of 2013, with its remaining balance being $473 million. In some disaster news, there has been an earthquake striking Italy earlier on Tuesday, May 29, 2012. The earthquake was strong at 5.8 magnitude, shaking a portion of Italy at 9 a.m., which leaves 16 people dead, 12 people missing, 350 people injured, and numerous people homeless as factories were torn apart. Roofs of homes are now caved, and several towering buildings fell down into rubble of heavy bricks. That was the information I got at that time on Tuesday. There's no more information other than that. So that's basically it for the earthquake story. According to an article from Bloomberg, at this point, the fact that Facebook is struggling with its mobile strategy is not really news. The company itself flagged the issue on its pre-IPO documents, saying advertising revenue is not keeping up with the expectations. In its $1 billion Instagram purchase, it was widely seen as an admission. It needs a lot of help in the mobile department, but doesn't make any sense for the company to build its own phone. Some argue that this would be a natural extension of the social network strategy, but others say it would be a monumentally stupid move to make, and it is almost inevitably doomed. Talk of a dedicated Facebook phone resurfaced this weekend with a report from Nick Bilton in the New York Times saying that Social Network hopes to release its own smartphone by next year and has been hiring hardware engineers and developers, including several from Apple, as part of its effort. According to sources from Bilton talked to him, Facebook chief CEO Mark Zuckerberg sees the mobile phone project as something crucial to the future of the company, which has just went into public somewhat rocky IPO. One Facebook employee said that Mark is worried that if he doesn't create a mobile phone in the near future, Facebook will simply become an app on other mobile platforms, which is okay because Facebook can be usable on Android and Apple phones, especially and possibly on Windows phones. There are also signs of Facebook that could be putting together all the elements that will be required for a new device that could, theoretically at least, challenge Apple's dominance in mobile. There is a new Facebook camera app which could be connected directly to a device camera. The social network recently launched its own Apple-style app store as a central repository for related services and software. Facebook Messages could be the company's version of Apple's iMessage, and there has been reports that the social network is planning to acquire the Opera browser. As Bilton notes, this is Facebook's third kick at the can when it comes to mobile. 2 years ago, there were rumors that the company was planning to release a phone made by handsetter INQ Mobile, the same company that released the first phone with a dedicated Facebook button 4 years ago in 2008. As Olmec detailed in the post in 2010, the idea was that Facebook will be a kind of social layer on top of a version of Android, and that the social network functions will be deeply integrated into the device on every level. The iNQ Cloud Touch, which was released last year, offered at least some of these elements but didn't take off. Other than the Facebook phone, there's also been Facebook fiasco going on for the past few days. Recently, people were getting angry as Facebook was constantly going down throughout the day on Thursday, May 31st through June 1st, when there was numerous Facebook users with a Twitter account complaining about the problem, and it's still continuing throughout the night on Thursday, May 31st. According to an article from CNET, the Facebook outrage started at around 4:30 p.m. I mean, Facebook went down several times, but I really do not understand why Facebook goes down. Mark Zuckerberg never tells users why Facebook ever goes down at a certain point. Be specific, Mark Zuckerberg. Even with your Facebook phone creation, I mean, it might be innovative, but what if Mark Zuckerberg do all those wrong things and ends up bankrupting the company? You'll never know what's gonna happen in the future. In some dangerous crime news, there's a gunman killing several people in a cafe located near Seattle University in the safe city of Seattle, Washington, according to an article from the Associated Press. A gunman opened fire at a Seattle cafe on Wednesday, killing 3 people, critically wounding 2 others, and setting up a manhunt that forced officials to close nearby schools, according to authorities. Police searching for the suspect also had to respond to another fatal shooting near the city's downtown. They say a man killed a woman in apparent carjacking and fled in a black SUV. Authorities didn't immediately know whether the shootings were related. The latest pazam of deadly gun violence that hit the city worried Seattle's leaders and prompted police to consider increasing patrols in high-crime areas. The 3 deaths bring the number of homicides to 19 this year, compared to 21 in all of last year. Gunfire erupted late Wednesday morning at Cafe Racer, a restaurant and music venue north of the University of Washington. The gunman was described as a man in his 30s wearing dark clothes. Police released 2 photos from inside the cafe, apparently taken from a security camera. One shows a man walking to the establishment with a woman nearby reading a book. Another photo shows stools overturned and a man standing and holding what appears to be a handgun. 2 men died at the scene. A woman from the cafe died at a hospital. But recently, the man has shot himself for unexplained reasons, but that's what the police said. On Thursday, the gunman's father apologized, knowing how the son could have gone on a shooting rampage throughout the city. Additionally, there are more details contributing to the story, according to an article from the Kansas City Star, where it gives additional in-depth details about the shootings, saying that the man has been banned from the artsy Seattle cafe for acting out, but he showed up anyway and tried to place an order. After the barista declined to serve him, he stood up, took out a gun, and began shooting as people scrambled for cover. One man tried to stop him. Grabbing the only weapons at hand, bar stools, he tossed at the gunman, even as the man aimed at him, according to Assistant Police Chief under the name of Jim Pugel, said Thursday after reviewing surveillance video of the massacre. The tactic created enough of a delay in the shooting that 2 of the 3 other customers were managed to escape from the cafe. My brother died in the World Trade Center. The man later told the police, who provided an account of the interview after his brother's death. He said that he was resolved if something like this ever happened, he would never ever hide from a table. Lawrence Adams told the Seattle Times that his brother, an employee at the windows on the World Restaurant, has been killed in the World Trade Center attacks of September 11th, 2001. By the time Lee Staniki's rampage was over, 5 people has been shot in Cafe Racer, 4 fatally, including 2 musicians who frequently played there. The gunman put his 2.45 caliber handguns in his pocket, grabbed a bowler-style hat off the head of one of his dead victims, placed it on his own head, and walked out. He first fled to downtown Seattle, where he shot a woman to death while stealing her black Mercedes sports utility vehicle. Then drove all the way to West Seattle, where he met up with an old friend who had no idea what he'd done, according to the police. If the guy knew he was banned from the cafe at the first place, he would never be able to come back with revenge. You should never do this, ever do this in your life, because it would be kind of bad, and you might just kind of get into a rage, like the Hulk. Well, that's going to do it for the first part of the Fry Fun show. Click on the link below this to watch part 2 of this show. Until then, I'll see you in part 2.